The sky above Seoul turned dark at exactly 3 in the afternoon. It was not clouds. It was not an eclipse. It was something that no human had ever seen before. Ships, thousands of them. They blocked the sun like a metal blanket covering the earth. Commander stood at the main defense station in the underground military base. He was a tall man with tired eyes and hair at his temples. He had served in the Korean military for 30 years. He had seen wars. He had seen death. But he had never seen anything like this. "Sir, we are counting the ships now," said Lieutenant. She was young, maybe 25, with sharp eyes and quick fingers on her keyboard. "Current count is 8,412, and more are coming through the portal." Said nothing. He just watched the main screen. The ships were huge. The smallest ones were the size of football stadiums. The largest ones were bigger than cities. They had no windows. Their metal skin was dark purple, almost black. Strange lights pulsed along their bodies like heartbeats. 10,000, said after a few minutes. Her voice was shaking now. 10,000 ships, sir. The portal is closing. The portal. It had opened in the sky like a wound in reality itself. Blue and white light had poured out of it, and then the ships had come, one by one, then 10 by 10, then hundreds at a time. Now it was closing, and 10,000 alien warships floated above Earth. General walked into the room. She was a small woman, but everyone moved out of her way. She had a face like stone and eyes like fire. She had led the Unified Earth Defense Force for 5 years. She had prepared for many things, but not this. "Status report," she said. 10,000 ships, told her. "They are holding position above the major cities. We have confirmed ships over Seoul, Tokyo, Beijing, New York, London, Moscow, and 47 other locations." "Have they attacked?" "No, General, not yet. They are just waiting." The waiting was the worst part. For 6 hours the ships did nothing. They just floated there, silent, watching. People ran in the streets below. Some prayed, some screamed. Some just stood and stared at the sky with empty eyes. Then the message came. Every screen on Earth flickered. Every phone, every television, every computer. They all showed the same image, a face. It was not human. The skin was pale blue. The eyes were large and yellow with black lines running through them like cracks. The mouth was too wide, too many teeth, sharp teeth. "I am Admiral of the Empire," the creature said. Its voice was smooth like oil. "We have watched your little planet for many years. We have studied you. We have learned your languages, and now we have come." Felt his hands become fists. Beside him had stopped typing. Everyone in the room was frozen, watching the screen. "We have conquered 427 worlds," Admiral continued. "We have destroyed civilizations that were old when your ancestors were still swimming in the ocean. We have weapons that your tiny minds cannot understand. We have ships that can break planets like eggs." The alien smiled. It was a horrible thing to see. "And you, what do you have? We have seen your weapons, your guns, your bombs, your little metal planes." Admiral laughed. It was a cold sound like ice breaking. "You are children playing with toys. You are insects with sticks. You are nothing." The screen changed. It showed images of other worlds, beautiful cities burning, strange creatures running and dying, ships like the ones above Earth raining fire down on everything below. "This is what we do," Admiral said. "This is what we have always done. Every world that resists us is destroyed. Every species that fights us is ended. We have never lost. We have never even come close to losing." The screen went back to the alien's face. "You have one day, one rotation of your planet around your little star. Surrender to us completely. Give us your world, give us your people, give us everything. And some of you will be allowed to live, as servants, as slaves, but alive." Admiral leaned closer to the camera. "Or fight us, please, fight us. It has been so long since we had any entertainment. Your little army, your little weapons, your little hopes and dreams. We will crush them all, and we will enjoy it." The screens went dark. looked at General. Her face had not changed. Stone and fire. She walked to the center of the room and looked around at her officers. "Contact every military base on Earth," she said. "Tell them we are not surrendering. Tell them to prepare for war." "General," said Colonel Wu. He was an old soldier with a scar across his face. "They have 10,000 ships. We have maybe 300 space-capable vessels. Our weapons cannot break their shields. Our scientists say their technology is at least 1,000 years ahead of ours. This is not a war. This is a slaughter." "I know," said. "Then why fight?" General looked at the screen where Admiral's face had been. "Because we are human," she said. "Because we do not know how to kneel. Because even if we die, we will die standing. And because," she paused, a small smile crossed her lips, "because they do not know about Project." Felt something in his chest. Hope, small and fragile but real. "Commander," said, "contact the Arctic base. Tell Dr. Bora that we need her weapon ready in 20 hours. "Yes, General." "And Commander, tell her that the survival of our species depends on her success. No pressure." Almost smiled, almost. Outside, the alien ships continued to float in the dark sky. 10,000 vessels of death, waiting to end human civilization. Their admiral sat in his command chair, laughing with his officers about the coming slaughter. They had conquered 427 worlds. They had never lost a single battle. They were the greatest military power in the galaxy. And they had absolutely no idea what was coming. The first attack came at dawn. Earth did not wait for the deadline to end. General gave the order and humanity struck first. 300 space-capable vessels rose from bases around the world. They were the best ships Earth had ever built, fast, powerful, armed with nuclear missiles and plasma cannons. The pilots inside them were the bravest men and women humanity had ever produced. They knew they were going to die. They flew anyway. Commander watched from the underground base as the battle began. The screens showed everything. Every ship, every missile, every death. "First wave engaging," reported. Her voice was steady, but her hands were shaking on the keyboard. "Missiles away." 1,000 nuclear missiles flew toward the fleet. They were the most destructive weapons Earth had ever created. Each one could destroy a city. Together, they could end all life on a continent. The missiles hit the alien shields, and nothing happened. "No effect," said. "The shields are absorbing everything, not even a flicker." On the screen, the ships did not move. They did not need to dodge. They did not even bother to shoot down the missiles. They just let them hit, like a giant ignoring the punches of a child. Then the aliens responded. Beams of purple light shot from the vessels. They moved faster than anything had ever seen. One beam, one ship, one death. It was that simple. In less than a minute, 100 human vessels were gone, destroyed, turned to dust and fire in the cold darkness of space. "Pull back," General commanded. "All ships retreat." But they were not finished playing. They did not want a quick victory. They wanted a show. Admiral's face appeared on all screens again. He was smiling. That horrible, too-wide smile with too many teeth. "Is that all?" he asked. "Is that the best your species can do? We expected more. We are disappointed." Behind him could see other officers laughing. They were watching the battle like it was a game, a comedy show, entertainment. "Let us show you what real power looks like," Admiral said. One of the largest ships moved forward. It was shaped like a giant sword, dark and deadly. It positioned itself above the Pacific Ocean. Then a beam of light shot down from its belly, not purple this time, white, pure white. The ocean boiled. Watched in horror as a circle of water 50 kilometers wide turned to steam in seconds. The beam only lasted for 3 seconds, but when it stopped, there was a hole in the ocean. A hole that went all the way to the ocean floor. "That was 5% of our main cannon's power," Admiral said. Imagine what 100% would do to your cities, to your people, to your entire civilization. The remaining human ships retreated. Less than 150 of them had survived. Half of Earth's entire space fleet destroyed in minutes. 12 hours remain, Admiral said. Use them wisely. The screen went dark again. In the underground base, there was silence. Could hear his own heartbeat. He could feel the hopelessness spreading through the room like a cold fog. Casualties? General asked. Her voice was quiet. 153 ships destroyed, Colonel Wu reported. 4,592 pilots dead. The orbital defense stations. Gone, all 12 of them. They destroyed them during the battle. We have no defenses left in space. General closed her eyes for a moment. When she opened them, they were wet, but her face was still stone. Get me a connection to the Arctic base, she said. The screen flickered and a woman's face appeared. Dr. Bora. She was middle-aged with messy hair and dark circles under her eyes. She looked like she had not slept in days. General, she said, I saw the battle. I am sorry. How long until project is ready? Dr. Bora hesitated. We are having some problems. The power requirements are enormous. We need more time. You have 11 hours. General, that might not be enough. The calculations are complex. If we make a mistake, the whole system could fail. Or worse, it could feed back and destroy the Arctic base. Kill everyone here. Doctor, in 11 hours, those aliens will start burning our cities. Millions will die, then billions. Our entire species will be either dead or enslaved. Do you understand? Dr. Bora nodded slowly. I understand. Then make it work. Whatever it takes, whatever you need, I will give it to you, but make it work. Yes, General. The connection ended. Walked up to General. What is project? He asked quietly. You mentioned it before, but I have never heard of it. Looked at him for a long moment. Then she started walking toward a small private room. She gestured for him to follow. When the door closed behind them, she spoke. 20 years ago, we discovered something in the Arctic ice. A metal structure. Ancient. Not human. We do not know who built it or how long it had been there. Millions of years, maybe. Longer. Felt cold. Aliens. There were aliens on Earth before. Not something else. Something much older. The structure was connected to Earth's magnetic field. Our scientists studied it for years. They learned how to activate it, how to control it. What does it do? General looked at the ceiling, as if she could see through it to the alien ships above. It creates a pulse, an electromagnetic wave that uses Earth's magnetic field as a delivery system. The wave can reach every point in near-Earth space instantly, and everything it touches. She paused. Everything electronic, every computer, every engine, every weapon system, it all stops, frozen, dead. His eyes went wide. A kill switch for all technology. Yes, but there is a problem. The pulse affects everything. Human technology too. If we use it, our own ships, our own defenses, our own cities, everything will go dark, at least temporarily. But the ships, they rely on technology far more than we do. Their entire civilization is built on it. Without their systems, they cannot fly, they cannot fight, they cannot even breathe. Their ships will become coffins. Understood now. The hope he had felt earlier grew stronger. So we take the hit together, he said. We go dark, they go dark, but we can survive without technology. They cannot. That is the plan, General said, if Dr. Bora can make it work in time. Above the Earth, Admiral sat in his command chair. He was drinking a strange purple liquid and watching recordings of the battle. His officers cheered every time a human ship exploded. Pathetic, said, truly pathetic. I have seen prey species fight harder than this. At least they made it entertaining. Should we prepare for another attack, Admiral? One of his officers asked. No need, they have nothing left. In 12 hours we will begin the conquest. They will surrender or die." He smiled. "I hope they choose to die. It has been so boring lately. I need some excitement." He had no idea that far below, in the frozen Arctic, a team of human scientists was working to turn his entire fleet into the largest collection of space debris in galactic history. The Arctic base was buried 300 meters under the ice. It had no name. It did not exist on any map. Only 50 people in the entire world knew it was there. Now, the fate of humanity rested on the scientists inside it. Dr. Bora stood in front of the ancient structure. It was massive. A ring of dark metal, 200 meters wide, covered in symbols that no human could read. It hummed with energy, a low, deep sound that she felt in her bones more than heard with her ears. "Power levels at 62%, said Doctor, her assistant. He was a young man with glasses and nervous hands. "We need at least 90% to reach full coverage." "I know the numbers," Bora said. "What is the problem with the generators?" "3 of them overheated and shut down. We are trying to fix them, but the repairs will take at least 6 hours. "We do not have 6 hours. Bora walked around the ring, thinking. 20 years she had worked on this project. 20 years of studying alien technology that was older than human civilization. She had mapped every circuit. She understood every system. And now, with the entire species depending on her, she could not make it work. Her communicator beeped. It was Commander from Seoul. "Dr. Bora, how is the progress?" "Not good," she admitted. "We have power problems. The ancient reactor can generate the pulse, but we need to feed it energy first. Like charging a battery, our generators cannot keep up." There was silence on the other end. Then's voice came back, thoughtful. "What kind of energy do you need?" "Electrical, massive amounts of it. We need about 3 gigawatts sustained for 1 hour to reach full charge." 3 gigawatts. The entire city of Seoul uses less than that. "Yes, and we have lost 3 of our 12 generators. We only have 9 working now. That gives us maybe 2 gigawatts at best." Again silence, then spoke. "What if you could get power from the main grid, from the cities?" Bora blinked. That could work. If we had a direct connection to a major power grid, we could draw energy from all the plants at once. But we would need to divert power from entire cities. Millions of people would lose electricity. "I think people will understand," said. "I will talk to General, start preparing for the connection." The call ended. Bora turned to Doctor. "Get the engineering team. We are going to connect the ancient reactor to the Russian power grid. We have 8 hours to make it happen." 8 hours? That is impossible." "Then we will do the impossible. That is what humans do." Far above in orbit, the fleet continued to wait. Admiral was growing bored. He walked through his flagship, inspecting his troops. They were perfect soldiers. Tall, strong, armed with weapons that could melt steel. They had never lost a ground battle in the history of their species. "Admiral," said one of his officers, approaching quickly, "we have detected unusual energy patterns on the planet's surface." "Where?" "The northern ice region. Very high electrical activity, much higher than normal for that area." Thought about it for a moment. "Probably their defense systems preparing for our attack. It does not matter. Nothing they have can hurt us." "Should we destroy it? We could send a strike team." "No, let them have their hope. Let them prepare their little defenses. It will make their defeat more complete, more satisfying." The officer nodded and walked away, smiled to himself. Stupid humans. Stupid, pathetic, primitive humans. They had no idea how outmatched they were. In Seoul, Commander was coordinating the largest power transfer in human history. Cables as thick as trees were being connected across thousands of kilometers. Power plants from Russia, China, and Korea were being linked together. Cities were going dark, but nobody complained. They all knew what was at stake. "Connection complete," reported. The Arctic base now has access to the combined power grids of 3 countries. Begin the transfer, ordered. On his screen, he watched as energy flowed north. Lights went out in Moscow, then Beijing, then Seoul itself. The entire base was now running on emergency generators, but far away under the ice, the ancient ring began to glow. Dr. Bora watched in amazement as the symbols on the ring lit up one by one. Blue light, then green, then pure white. The humming grew louder. The air itself seemed to vibrate. Power levels at 70%, Doctor reported. His voice was excited now, not nervous. 75, 80. Keep it coming, Bora said. We need everything. The ring was now completely lit. It looked like a portal to another world. The ancient technology, dormant for millions of years, was finally awakening. 90%, 95, 100. Bora let out a breath she did not know she was holding. Full charge achieved. The system is ready. She picked up her communicator and called General directly. General, project is operational. We can fire on your command. Excellent work, Doctor. Stand by for the order. In the Seoul Command Center, General stood before a room full of officers. They all looked tired, scared, but there was something else in their eyes now. Hope. Listen carefully, said. When we activate, everything electronic will stop working. Our communications, our computers, our lights, everything. The blackout will last approximately 2 hours while Earth's magnetic field resets. And the aliens? Colonel Wu asked. Their ships are completely dependent on technology. Without power, their life support fails. Their engines stop. Their weapons go offline. They will be helpless. What about our surviving ships? They will fall dark too, but we have equipped them with old-fashioned radio equipment. Simple technology. Radios that use tubes instead of transistors. They will recover faster than the alien vessels. Stepped forward. What if it does not work? What if they have protected their systems? General looked at him steadily. Then we die, but we would have died anyway. At least this way we die trying. Nobody argued. There was nothing to argue about. This was their only chance. Commander said, you will give the activation order. When the time is right, you will speak the code phrase to Dr. Bora. The code phrase is Initiate Snowfall Protocol. Do you understand? Yes, General. The timing is critical. We must wait until the lower their shields to begin their attack. Otherwise, the pulse might not penetrate their defenses. How will we know when they lower their shields? Smiled grimly. They will tell us. They are arrogant. They will want us to see our doom coming. They will want to savor the moment. She was right. Had always loved making a show of his victories. 2 hours remained until the deadline. 2 hours until they would demand surrender or begin their attack. 2 hours until the fate of humanity would be decided. In the Arctic, the ancient ring pulsed with white light, ready to unleash a power that had not been used in millions of years. In orbit, 10,000 alien ships prepared for conquest, completely unaware of the trap that was about to close around them. And in Seoul, Commander practiced saying the words that would either save his species or accomplish nothing at all. Initiate Snowfall Protocol. He hoped he would live long enough to see what happened next. The deadline arrived with a message that every human being on Earth could see. Admiral appeared on every screen one final time. His yellow eyes were bright with excitement. His too wide smile showed all of his sharp teeth. Your time is up, he announced. We have received no surrender. We are pleased. Now the entertainment begins. Commander stood in the command center, watching the alien's face. His hand was on the communication device that connected him to Dr. Bora in the Arctic. His heart was beating so fast he could feel it in his throat. Watch carefully, humans, Admiral continued. We will start with your largest cities. We will burn them slowly, building by building, street by street. We want you to feel every death. We want you to understand the price of resistance. On the tactical screens could see the ships beginning to move. They were positioning themselves above the major population centers: Tokyo, New York, London, Beijing, Seoul. Each city had at least 50 warships above it now. "Shield status," General asked quietly. "Still up," Colonel Wu reported. "All vessels maintaining full defensive shields." They had to wait. If they fired the pulse now, the shields might protect the alien systems. They needed the shields down. They needed a perfect moment. Admiral raised one blue hand. "On my command, all ships will begin bombardment at 30% power. We want to make this last. We want to enjoy." "Admiral," an officer's voice interrupted him. "We are detecting unusual electromagnetic readings from the planet's surface. Very strong, concentrated in the northern region." Frowned. "What kind of readings?" "Unknown, sir. Nothing in our databases matches this signature. It appears to be building towards something." For a moment, just a moment, saw something in Admiral's eyes. Not fear exactly, but uncertainty. The first uncertainty the alien had shown since arriving. "Scan that location," ordered. "Full analysis." "Sir, our sensors cannot penetrate that deep. The energy field is interfering with." "Then send a strike team. Destroy whatever it is." His blood went cold. If they destroyed the Arctic base before they could fire the pulse, everything would be lost. "Sir," General said urgently, "we cannot wait any longer. They are targeting the base." "But the shields are still up." "Then we pray the pulse is strong enough to break through them. Commander, give the order." Raised the communicator to his mouth. His lips were dry. His hands were shaking. Everything depended on the next few seconds. "Dr. Bora," he said, "initiate snowfall protocol." 3,000 kilometers away, in the frozen Arctic, Dr. Bora heard the words and pressed a single button. The ancient ring exploded with light. Pure white energy erupted from its center like a star being born. The light shot upward, through 300 meters of ice, through the clouds, through the atmosphere and into space. But it did not stop there. The energy hit Earth's magnetic field and spread instantly across the entire planet. It was like dropping a stone into still water, except the ripples moved at the speed of light. Within 1 second, the white wave had covered every square meter of near-Earth space. In orbit, the fleet was engulfed. The wave hit their shields first. For half a heartbeat, the shields held. The alien technology was advanced, designed to resist any known weapon. But this was not a weapon they knew. This was not a weapon anyone knew. This was technology from a civilization that had died before the species even existed. The shields flickered once, twice, then they collapsed. The white energy washed over 10,000 ships. Every circuit burned out. Every computer crashed. Every engine stopped. Every light went dark. Admiral was in the middle of giving orders when his entire bridge went black. The emergency systems tried to activate and failed. The backup systems tried to engage and died. Everything stopped. "What is happening?" screamed into the darkness. "Report, someone report." But there were no reports. There was no communication. His ship was dead. His fleet was dead. 10,000 warships, the most powerful armada in the galaxy, had just become 10,000 pieces of floating metal. On Earth, the effects were just as dramatic, but the humans were prepared. The lights went out in every city. Cars stopped in the streets. Computers crashed. Phones died. The world went silent and dark. But humans had lived without electricity before. They knew how to survive in the dark. They had candles. They had fires. They had each other. In the Seoul Command Center, emergency generators kicked in after 30 seconds. Simple generators, old technology, the kind that the pulse could not permanently damage. Commander opened his eyes. The screens were coming back online, one by one. He looked at the tactical display and felt tears forming in his eyes. "General," he said, "look." General looked. The entire room looked. and then slowly they began to cheer. The fleet was drifting, not moving, not attacking, just drifting. The ships that had been positioned above cities were slowly floating away, caught by Earth's gravity, by solar winds, by the random forces of space. They were powerless, helpless, dead. "Life sign readings?" asked. Strong reported, wiping tears from her own eyes. "The aliens are still alive. Their ships have residual oxygen, but their life support is down. They have maybe 6 hours before they start suffocating. Open a channel, all frequencies. Let us see if they can hear us." The communication officer worked quickly. A minute later, a voice came through, Admiral's voice, but it sounded different now, scared, confused. What have you done? What is this? Our systems are not responding. Nothing is working. This is impossible. This is impossible." General took the microphone. "Admiral," she said calmly, "this is General of the Earth Defense Force. As you can see, your situation has changed. Your ships are without power. Your weapons are offline. Your shields are down. You have approximately 6 hours of air remaining." "This cannot be," screamed. "We are the Empire. We have conquered 400 worlds. We have never lost." "You have now," said simply. "Here is my offer. You will signal complete surrender. You will order all your troops to stand down. You will allow us to board your vessels and take you into custody. In return, we will provide you with air, food, and water. We will treat you as prisoners of war under human conventions. You will live. Surrender to primitives, to insects, never. I will die before." "Then die," interrupted. "We are not asking, we are offering. You have 1 hour to decide. After that, we will focus our rescue efforts on those ships whose crews wish to survive. The rest, well, space is very cold, Admiral, and very quiet." She cut the communication. The room was silent for a moment. Then Colonel Wu spoke. "Do you think they will accept?" General looked at the drifting ships on the screen. 10,000 vessels, millions of alien soldiers, the most powerful fleet in the galaxy, reduced to beggars in the darkness of space. "They will," she said. "They are conquerors. They have never faced defeat. They do not know how to die with honor. They will choose to live even as prisoners. And then," she smiled, "then we will learn everything they know. Their technology, their empire, their weaknesses. And then, Colonel, humanity will no longer be the prey. We will be the hunters." Above the Earth, Admiral floated in darkness, surrounded by the dying whispers of his crew's breathing, and finally understood the truth. He had mocked a species that did not know how to surrender, a species that fought even when fighting was hopeless, a species that could turn their own planet into a weapon. He had mocked humans. And now, for the first time in 400 conquests, he was going to lose. The surrender came 43 minutes after General ultimatum. Admiral's voice was barely a whisper when he spoke the words. We accept your terms. The fleet surrenders." Commander listened to the message and felt something strange in his chest. Relief, pride, and something else. Something that felt like the beginning of a new age. "All ships stand down," continued. The anger was gone from his voice. Only exhaustion remained. "Do not resist the humans when they board. This is a direct order from your admiral. We have lost." The communication ended. Silence filled the Seoul Command Center. Then Lieutenant began to cry, then Colonel Wu, then others. Some laughed, some shouted, some simply stared at the screens, unable to believe what they were seeing. General allowed them 1 minute of emotion. Then she spoke. "The battle is won, but the work has just begun. We need rescue teams in space within the hour. Every ship we have left must be used to board and secure the vessels. We need to provide them with air and power before they start dying." "Why save them?" Colonel Wu asked. There was no anger in his voice, just honest curiosity. "They came to enslave us, to destroy us." "Because they know things," replied. "Their technology, their star maps, the location of their empire and the other species they have conquered. If we save them, they will talk, and when they talk, we will learn, and when we learn, she looked at the drifting fleet on the screen, we will become something the galaxy has never seen before. The rescue operation began within the hour. The remaining human ships, still recovering from the electromagnetic pulse, flew up to meet the frozen fleet. They attached to airlocks. They cut through hulls. They entered ships that were now as cold and dark as tombs. Commander led one of the boarding teams personally. He wanted to see the aliens up close. He wanted to look into the eyes of the creatures who had mocked his species. The inside of the flagship was freezing. Frost covered every surface. The air was thin and getting thinner. Alien bodies lay everywhere, not dead but unconscious. They had passed out from lack of oxygen. Found Admiral on the bridge. The alien was still in his command chair, his yellow eyes half closed, his blue skin turning pale. He was breathing but barely. "Get medical teams up here," ordered. "We need to stabilize him. General wants him alive." The medics worked quickly. Human oxygen, human medicine, human hands saving the life of a creature who had promised to enslave them all. His eyes opened. He looked at confusion first, then recognition, then something that might have been shame. Hal whispered, "We scanned your entire planet. We analyzed your technology. You had nothing that could hurt us. Nothing." Looked at the alien for a long moment. "You analyzed our technology," he said, "but we were using technology that was not ours, something much older, something that was waiting for a moment like this." "That is impossible. There are no other advanced species in this region of space. We would have known." "There were," said, "millions of years ago, long before your empire existed. They left something behind, a gift maybe, or a test. We found it, we learned to use it, and now here we are." Stared at him. His yellow eyes were wide with something new, fear, real fear, the kind that came from facing the unknown. "What are you?" the alien asked. "What are humans?" Thought about the question. He thought about his species, their wars, their cruelty, their art, their love, their stubborn refusal to give up even when everything was lost. "We are survivors," he said finally. "That is what we are. We have survived ice ages, plagues, wars, famines. We have survived everything our planet has thrown at us. And now we have survived you." He turned and walked away, leaving in the care of the medical team. The rescue operation took 3 days. 10,000 ships were boarded, secured, and attached to Earth's orbital stations. 6 million soldiers were taken prisoner. Amazingly, only about 20,000 died from lack of oxygen before the humans reached them. The rest were saved. Dr. Bora was brought to Seoul as a hero. She stood before the United Nations and received the thanks of every country on Earth. But she did not smile during the ceremony. She knew that their work was far from over. "The pulse has revealed something important," she told the assembled leaders afterward. "The ancient structure in the Arctic is not just a weapon, it is a communication device as well. We have detected signals, faint but real, coming from somewhere far away. The builders of that structure, they may still exist." The room went silent. "Another alien species?" General asked. "Perhaps, or perhaps the same species, evolved beyond anything we can imagine. Either way, they are watching. They have been watching for a very long time." "Are they a threat?" Dr. Bora shook her head. "I do not think so. The structure they left behind saved us. Why would they save us if they wished us harm? No, I believe they are waiting, testing us maybe, seeing if we are worthy of something, joining them, learning from them. I do not know." Absorbed this information. Another mystery, another challenge, but humans were good at challenges. "Then we will prepare," she said. "We will study the technology, we will build new ships, better ships, and when those watchers decide to make contact, we will be ready." 1 year later, the first human starship left Earth. It was built from a combination of human engineering and technology. It was called the Horizon, and it carried a crew of 200 humans and 50 former prisoners who had agreed to help explore the galaxy. Commander was on the bridge when they activated the faster-than-light drive for the first time. The stars stretched, space folded, and suddenly they were somewhere else, somewhere far from Earth. Position confirmed, the navigator reported. We are in the Alpha system. Distance traveled 4.3 light-years. Time elapsed 7 seconds. Smiled 7 seconds. Humanity had just crossed the void between stars in 7 seconds. Begin scanning, he ordered. Map everything. This is our first step into a larger universe. Let us make it count. In the Sol Command Center, General watched the Horizon's progress on her screens. She was older now, more in her hair, more lines on her face, but her eyes were still fire. We did it, she said quietly. We survived, we won, and now we are among the stars. Beside her, Lieutenant, now Captain, nodded. What do you think we will find out there, General? Thought about the ancient builders, about the signals coming from the distant darkness. Wonders, she said, horrors, allies, enemies, everything and nothing. The universe is infinite, Captain, and now, finally, it belongs to us as much as anyone. She looked at the screen one last time. The ship that had mocked them, the fleet that had promised to enslave them. They were gone now, their crews integrated or imprisoned, their technology dissected and understood. Humanity had been called insects, primitives, children playing with toys. And they had won anyway. Because that was what humans did. They survived. They adapted. They refused to kneel. And when the darkness came for them, they found a way to turn that darkness into light. The fleet had mocked Earth's army. One command had painted the battlefield white. And now, the galaxy would learn what they had learned the hard way. Never underestimate humanity.